Hi, boys and girls. Today's the last lesson on looking at multisyllable words that have a lot of open syllables within them. Okay, if you remember open syllable, this is the hand motion for open syllable. An open syllable is where there's a vowel with no consonants following it, and that means that the vowel sound is long. It's like the door is open, so that vowel sound just keeps going. Okay. And so some of these will have open syllables, some will have closed syllables. Okay, those are the ones we'll be doing today. So here's our first word, and we're just going to look at our syllable bars and do some dividing. Okay, so I'm sure you guys are great at this, but you know that we always start with the vowels. So we're going to mark where the vowels are, and you would be pointing to them, again, because you're not going to be writing in your books or whatever when you come to a word like this. And I see that we do have those two vowels, and now there's only one consonant between them. What was that rule that we talked about? Take for a minute to think. Yes, I said that the most common way is to be divide in front of the consonant. Okay, so that would mean we would divide right here. Okay, as you recall, that isn't always correct, so sometimes you might have to divide it after when you start pronouncing it. Okay, but if without anything, you're just always going to divide in front of the consonant. Okay, so now we need to look at the first syllable. So you can kind of use your hand to cover up and just concentrate on that first syllable. We see a consonant and a vowel, so that would be open. Okay, and I see that this syllable bar is going to work for that. Okay, and then we need to focus on the second syllable. And I see a vowel there in the middle, followed by a consonant, so closed. And then I do see a one consonant in front. So we've got a choice of two syllable bars here. And since we just have a consonant, vowel, consonant, it's that syllable bar. Remember, the reason for this syllable bar is to remind us of the sound those vowels are making. Okay, so we see long, so that vowel says I. And we see the short, and the vowel says Okay, so now we're just going to read straight across. Ready? Virus. Virus. Okay? Some of you may have already known that word, but it was a good example of an open syllable combined with a closed syllable. Okay? All right. Here's another one. Tried to find some words that have tricky parts to them. Okay, so let's look at this one. Maybe some of you have already picked up why I chose this word. Okay, so I'm going to look for my vowels, and I think, oh my goodness, I just see one vowel there. Is that right? Nope, it isn't, because there's that Y trying to hang out as a vowel. So we'll mark it there. So we see two vowels. That means I have to look between, and I only see one consonant. Our rule says divide in front of that consonant. Okay, so we're going to divide it right here. Okay, right in front of that consonant. Okay. So now we have to think about that Y. We know it's open, right? So we know this is the syllable bar that goes with it. But we also know that that Y sometimes will make two sounds. It can either sound like an I or an E. Okay, long I or long E. So keep that in mind when we go back to that part. So look here. What kind of syllable is that? One vowel followed by one consonant. And so it's actually consonant, vowel, consonant. So it's this syllable bar right here. Okay. So we know that this is going to say I or E. Let's just try it both ways. So this is either saying nigh or knee. Now remember when I said when it's on the end of a long word, it's usually E. I think usually if it's in the middle like that, it's more of an I sound. So, but we can still try it both ways. So it might say nigh or it might say knee. And then we know what this word is lawn, okay? Because that's that short vowel, okay? So let's try it with the E sound first. Nylon. Have you heard a word that says nylon? I haven't. Let's try it with the I. Nylon. Have you heard that word? Nylon is like a fabric, okay? So nylon is the word. It's with the I sound, okay? Again, that followed the rule where usually if the Y is in the middle, it's more of an I sound. Okay, let's try another. You guys are getting pretty good at this. I've heard your teachers say that as well. Okay, here's a good word. This might be a word that some of you know, but might be a word some of you don't know. And also, it kind of looks like another word, so you want to make sure that you're looking closely. Okay, so here we go. We're going to find our vowels. And there's a vowel. And by now, I'm thinking you're pretty used to that Y. Again, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but basically, if you see that Y anywhere except for the beginning of a word, it's almost always a vowel sound. I can't think of anywhere it makes the y. Well, there's one. So yo-yo. It actually does make that, but then you break that into syllables. So, but for the most part, that Y has to be at the beginning to not be a vowel. Okay. All right, so we found our two vowels, and oh my goodness, I see two consonants in between. That makes it easy. Okay, so we just divide right in between those. All right, focus on the first syllable. Okay, so you're looking at that syllable right there, and I see consonant, vowel, consonant. I think that's that syllable bar right there. Just move that one over the top of it. And then if we look at this last one, it's a consonant with a vowel. So that's going to be that syllable bar there. Okay. So again, we're being reminded, okay, if we have if this pattern right here, that's a short vowel. It's closed. If we have this pattern right here, that's a long vowel. Okay. So we would say this part how? Must. And this would be tie or T. Which one? T, because it's at the end of a longer word. Makes the E sound. And so let's read our word together. Musty. Musty is kind of that smell. If any of you stayed in a tent or a cabin, sometimes they have a musty smell if they've been closed up for a while. I always associate musty smell with a cabin. Okay, so we've got this word here, and looks like we've got how many vowels? See a vowel here and a vowel here. Okay, and then I've got two consonants in between. Okay, so two consonants in between. I think I have to split them. Okay, so we're going to go right through there. Okay. Okay. Matching up the syllable bars. I'm not going to cover it. Try to sort of cover it. See if you can figure out which syllable bar goes in front of each or above each. And this one here, we've got consonant, vowel, consonant. And this one right here, we've got a consonant and a vowel. Okay. Y is on the end of a fairly long word, so let's go with the long E sound. Ready? Let's read this one together. Husky. Very good. We've got a closed and an open syllable. All right, this last word I'm going to put up, but we're not going to do it. This is one that you're going to write it down, or your teacher can write it up on the board. You need to see if you can show your teacher or talk to it how you might end up figuring this one out. It's a little tricky, but I bet you can figure it out, okay? All right, so it's H-A-T-R-E-D, okay? And there's actually two ways you can divide it. One will be correct and one will not be, okay? If you give it a try and figure the word out, be sure and let me know when you see me in the halls. Thanks a lot.